Hey, what's up guys, my name is Jacob, also known as Rogue Trick, and this video is the first episode in a Pathfinder campaign, played by me and my friends, and the campaign is sort of a culmination of a ton of other campaigns in the same sort of Pathfinder expanded universe. If you're interested in those stories, I'm going to do some story times for fun moments in them, and if not, the campaign is going to start out with some backstory and context from the GM. If you're not interested in that, just click this timestamp and you jump to where the characters separately get introduced and what they do, and the start of the game. Enjoy our campaign of fame, fortune, and primarily folly. It starts off fairly slow, but it gets pretty crazy later on. Enjoy.
Since the end of the Curse of the Crimson Throne, it's been 7 years, and since the end of Aeons, it's been 6. A lot of things has changed. The Queen, Iliosa Arabasti, was killed under mysterious circumstances. She died.
Lead poisoning.
And I wonder what happened.
Choked on a pretzel.
And the castle seneschal stepped out of the woodworks, and as it's his duty to make sure to ensure the transition between regions is as smooth as possible, well, he set about doing just that. However, Iliosa had sort of messed up the political relations in the city, especially the relationship between the noble houses and the monarchy, which meant that if the nobles didn't want to cooperate, Neolandus Calapolis, the seneschal, knew that there was just no way that he could ever hope to restore order in the city. And that is why he instated a ruling council. So Korvosa is now a democracy-ish, where all of the surviving noble houses were the Jaggery family, the Ornelos family, the Larong family, and the Arcona family.
Our favorite.
Yeah, your favorite.
We hate those guys.
They make up 4 seats. He initially wanted to give the nobles 3 seats, or make a total of seats 8. But he couldn't convince them to accept that. So he gave every single head of house in Korvosa now has the opportunity to nominate one person for the 2 electoral seats every 3 years. The nobles are, however, free to choose whichever representatives they feel like, usually one among their own ranks. Neolandus sort of went about establishing order, making sure to give them some priorities, like what to do to rebuild the city and what assets to pull from, how to govern, etc. He gave them a crash course, essentially. After which he stepped down. He was voted in to the ruling council. He got over the overwhelming majority of the votes, but he declined and started a tavern instead. The Valari Inn, now staffed by Majenko, among other things. The Zarian's pseudo-dragon. After this happened, Golarion Arcona, the head of the House Arcona, saw this as an amazing opportunity. So what he did was that he was like, oh yeah, the nobles have the majority of the power here, and I get to choose my own representative. That means I can hold a vote for my representative, right? Okay, every single adult in Old Korvosa can vote, and I'll just take them. They may not vote for any one part of the House Arcona. Not that any of them are alive currently. You and him saw to that.
Shared blame, shared praise.
Sort of. He just killed his daughter and he was fine with it. Something Rakshasas are not fans of their own family members. In conjunction with this, he also initiated a lot of restoration projects in Old Korvosa to try and, since it was largely run down after it was isolated from the mainland, he rebuilt the bridges and he rebuilt a lot of the houses out of pocket. Using funds
What a nice
people
guy.
were sort of surprised that he actually had. Yeah, what his actual goals are sort of in the air. There are a lot of people who are just like, yeah, no, it's just a nice philanthropist, and there are people who are like, no, he's something. There's something really weird here, but very few know the know what he actually is. The killing of Iliosa, or the de-seating, did not sit well with the Shalaxians, or at least not with the Arabasti family. So, the Arabasti family sent their oldest son, Iliosa's older brother, Cornelius Arabasti, up to Korvosa to establish law and order. He even got a few members of the Orge of the Nail, a Hell Knight legion that was previously sort of allied with Korvosa. When he arrived on a large ship with a few more ships worth of soldiers with him. The city was just about ready to go to war. Like Marcus Endrin, the captain of the commander of the Sable Company, was like, "Yeah, if they attack, we're gonna fight them, right?" They didn't actually have to, as Cornelius Arabasti, were standing on his ship with a magically enhanced voice shouting his demands. He suddenly found himself armless.
Oh.
Yeah.
People on the ship and some onlookers from the harbor apparently saw some sort of red and black shadow moving quickly before this white flash appeared before the Shalaxian, after which he didn't have any arms anymore. And thus the legend of the Bright Shadow was born. A silent force of nature that seemed intent on protecting Korvosa.
Oh, that's pretty fucking cool, though.
It is.
Yes.
It is.
Very few people know the truth. There's only probably one or two in the city who know of the Bright Shadow's real identity. One of them probably being Neolandus, even though he is,
Retired, yeah.
Another very relevant thing that happened in the region was the Cinder War, which didn't affect Korvosa at all, essentially. So,
Good shit.
That happened.
Kazravon had been busy.
Now, who is Kazravon? Remind me again.
Yeah, Kazravon, the great blue dragon that was reincarnated at the end of the Curse of the Crimson Throne campaign. He was the one who steered Iliosa's actions as she was corrupted by the relics that had been hidden in the Shuanti pyramid the settlers had built the castle Korvosa on top of.
Mm-hmm.
She ventured down into the pyramid, found these relics, it was the fangs. She made them into her crown, and after that he sort of started speaking into her head, telling her to gather all the other pieces, which she eventually did. But when she did, she was killed. However, it was sort of too late. And using the Kazravon's influence that he'd established over Domina and Silius, he managed to return to life, taking the body of the former, or the very... You were the high priest of the Saranri Temple, because you were essentially the only priest.
Yeah, because everybody else had been fucking killed.
Victory by default. My favorite way to win.
Walk over.
Kazravon ended up taking the body of High Priest Silius Netholi, but this is nothing anyone knows. I think he just disappeared.
One person knows, but they kind of shrug it off as drunken rambling.
Yeah, of course Aldor knows, but this is not common knowledge.
No.
The only ones who know of him just knew he disappeared, possibly together with the other Saranri clerics. Kazravon, during his previous life, I suppose, was a very powerful orc warlord serving the Midnight Lord, Zon Kuthon. He held up in the hold of Belkzen, which is a region to the northeast of Korvosa, just past the Storval Plateau, a plateau that's raised about 1,000 feet above the mainland, known as the Cinderlands. The orcs, not guided by Kazravon, actually, realized their master was back and started rallying. The Cindermaw was dead. There was nothing stopping them, really. They, one of them, their leader, even managed to get hold of the Great Axe previously belonging to the Rune Lord of Wrath. Using that and their disorganized but ferocious military might, they marched southward. this would have probably spelled the end of the entirety of Arisia, honestly, because like Korvosa had just recovered from the war and from a rebellion, but there was one person, a very, very brave young druid, who found herself in a very special position. Her brother was the only person, apart from the rest of the group, of course, in living memory that had been respected by all three main Shuanzi clans. The Squanqua for saving their leaders, or recovering the bones of their leaders. They had their head shaman's son, as well as proving very respectful during their future meetings with him. The Sklarqua for actually being a member, an honorary member, having proved himself with them. And the Lyrunqua, because he fulfilled their pilgrimage as well as cleared out their most holy site of a monster that had infested it. She sort of used this, together with her knowledge of the Cinderlands, to unite the clans. Convince them to face off against the common enemy.
She took Zarion's death pretty well, yeah.
Yeah, using the military might of the Sklarqua, clan of the sun, and the necromantic powers of the Squanqua, the clan of the dead, as well as the crazy magics of the Lyrunqua, the clan of the moon, they managed to stop the oncoming horde, orc horde, and beat them up. Allegedly, there were some who claimed that it was that a few orcs on the battlefield, high commanders, seemed to die essentially out of nowhere by having their heads cut off. But you know, that's neither here or there.
Oh, you know, yeah, sure.
Fuck,
As you do.
Elder gets around.
That might also be the
Quickly.
Cinderlander. I actually don't know, but
That could be true.
The final battle, where Avery Valari, as he was called, faced off against the orc war leader, together with the now military commander of the Sklarqua, a man known as Corrosion eats what he kills.
The meme lives!
They managed to defeat him. And thus, Corrosion claimed not only leadership of the Sklarqua, but also the title of Cinder Warden.
way worse title.
Yes, it's not as cool as his previous title, but he did also claim a crazy powerful artifact weapon in the process. So you know.
Did he have like several months worth of leftovers from all the orcs he killed, or?
I don't want to eat anymore.
That was quite the snack box. And
That's the only reason why I changed his name. Is like, no way, I can't do this anymore. After this fight, no way, I need a new title.
the Orlandos took a trip down to West Crown to discuss the situation with their mayor, a member of Thrune, Inodius Thrune, the sister of the race for the coolest fucking title, Infernal Magistrix Abrogale Thrune.
Thrice
Okay,
damned,
that-
right?
That
Yeah.
sounds amazing.
It is.
Yeah, the second. Abrogale Thrune the second. People don't really know what happened there. The only thing they knew was what he told everyone, but he told them that he essentially just gave them all the personal belongings of the queen and set up some trade deals and some cultural exchange. And for that, he got money to build an opera house, a few ships, the promise, apparently through an infernal contract,
Uh-oh.
where the Thrune family promised to stop the Arabasti family from ever involving themselves in Korvosa matters ever again. Which was essentially like, yeah, if they do that, we'll just end them. Which is... if you have something backed by the Thrune family, you know, it's...
Fair enough. And they're like the leading force of
Yes.
Chiliax.
Yes, they are the leading force of Sheliax. They are so deeply embedded in Shelaxian politics that both the monarch and the mayor of essentially every relevant region and city is part of the Thrun family.
So wait, Sheliax is not an empire, right? It's a country.
Sheliax is an empire, but it has been an empire for such a long time that all their previous colonies have just been acclimated themselves to Shelaxian culture, and
but it's called the Shelaxian Empire.
Yes, they still refer to it as an empire, probably because it sounds cooler.
It does sound way cooler.
Before we start, do you have any questions about the changes in continuity or anything that's happened?
Is there any public knowledge about what happened with the Aeons crew at all, like from start to finish?
Essentially, no.
Okay. It just kind of came and went.
They saved the world, but nobody really knew about it.
I mean, I feel like there would be some kind of like massive panic if it came to public that, oh, by the way, like Cthulhu almost woke up.
Yeah, people would be very out, by the way, guys, we were 24 hours from death.
Yeah.
Because they were at that point, like...
Or actually say it right on time.
I'm going to tell you this right off the bat, but this campaign will not have the same level of urgency as Aeons.
That's
even
good.
Though
That's
you'll have an impending threats, of course. I assume you already knew that.
What?
But,
there's gonna be dangers in this campaign?
Not the type of if we don't fucking maximize every day like we're min-maxing Persona 3, we're gonna get yeeted off the surface of the planet.
But Sam, I built a high school RP like slice of life character.
I'm really impressed how you made a character in Pathfinder who can't fight.
How?
Yeah, like did you build the character with no personality, no redeemable traits, and like no interesting anything whatsoever?
No.
Then good job. You are the protagonist.
No. Look, I lowered 2 to raise 1 until I had a paraplegic moron in a wheelchair.
Okay, I'm pretty sure he's gonna show up as like some kind of mentor character later.
Yaki, you know it's a social faux pas to play yourself, right?
Is that also is that your image of a high school student? It's midday, and for once, the start of my campaign does not start with rain, as it is. The ship is awash in bright sunlight. You wake up from one of the lookouts at the top, shouting, "Land ahead!" And you hear a bunch of rattling feet storming around you as people start moving upward to get their first sight of land. Even though the distance between the Empire to the south and the city-state of Korvosa is not very far. It still takes a good 5 weeks of sailing before arriving. 5 days of sailing, Jesus. 5 days of sailing.
We're rowing very, very slowly.
Yeah, sure. Jesus.
We got 2 guys on rowing, and that's it.
The ship you're traveling with is named the Spear of the Blood Sea, as that is probably where it spent most of its time sailing, in areas south of the Shackles. As you hurry up to see the land moving closer, you see by the inlet known as the Jaggery River a large island with the city that's seemingly built uphill. The southernmost tip, where an area is walled off by an inner wall, and then it's just moving northward towards a large castle built atop a flat-top pyramid, probably making it very stable. It looks strange, as if it wasn't built. If all of it wasn't built at once, as if it has been added onto throughout the years. Every civilization, every generation adding their own touch to the building. The rest of the city moves uphill from there. And at the top, you see another inner wall. This one surprisingly tall, probably walling something of importance in. I'm pretty sure that Gideon has heard of the fabled Academy of Korvosa.
Of course, yeah.
Strange, secretive, magical university that is seemingly blamed for every weird thing that happens within its walls. Outbreaks of imps, pseudo-dragons, and other things during familiar experiments, as well as more mundane things like the crops not growing properly one year. North of this area, this part of the city, is another small island. It only seems to be connected to the main city by a few large, wide bridges. You can, from where you're standing, the buildings there don't look as extravagant or well preserved as the buildings to the south, and it doesn't sport any castles. But whoever planned this city seemed to have at least made the most out of the little area they had to work with. Looking to the east, it has spread out onto the mainland. You're not sure if that was built earlier or later than the main part of the city, but it seems to have its own little walls surrounding it.
Mm-hmm.
The ship sails along the eastern side, and from where you're standing, you can actually see a large building you recognize as an opera house. A massive, extravagant building built out of some sort of reddish wood. You do recognize the architecture and the style of buildings, like as one of the theaters from your home. So it was either clearly inspired from it, or
just a straight up like copy. Yeah. I'm gonna run to the front of the ship to get a better view of the city as it's closing in, and I'll be with a big grin, just looking at it, just writing something down in a journal, and then climbing atop the railing to get a better look.
You hear one of the sailors shouting, "Hey, get down from there!" But as he realizes he has better things to do than babysit you, he sort of walks over and starts reeling down the sails. If you fall down and drown, it's not his problem.
Exactly.
It doesn't go out of his paycheck.
So
Look out for the sharks.
Gideon is a human male. He's maybe early 20s or younger than that. Has white hair that's sort of blowing in the wind very dramatically. Is not very beefy. Doesn't look underweight. He looks like well fed, but not particularly like he works out or anything like that at all. He's got
long hair?
Not as long as mine, but like past his ears, maybe.
Oh, okay.
Just not like halfway to his shoulder, kind of.
Is it like unkempt or very straight, or?
It's fluffy. It's unkempt. So it's going free, a little bit curly. And he's wearing, I don't want to say noble clothes, but definitely more fancy clothes than like your average sailor. And yeah, he's got a good traveling backpack. Looks pretty expensive. Looks pretty good for traveling. Like helps you with the weight. Like attaches to your hips well. And he's carrying a light crossbow over his back, and got some assorted items like rope and shit. He looks like he was decked out in like an adventurer shop just the day before, and he's like ready to go. And he's got the biggest grin on his face as he's looking out over over Korvosa. It's getting closer. And I guess I wait. Wait for it to get closer. Kind of walk around, see if I can get a better view from another place of the ship. Try to think out what I'm gonna do next. And then I wait. How far away are we from the city?
About a few minutes.
Awesome. Then I'll go back below deck and pack everything I have left. Which isn't much, actually. Just get it in my backpack and climb the railing and keep looking and waiting for us to get into harbor.
As you start sailing into harbor, you know, it's crossing into the upper parts of the Jaggery River along the coast. You see a small observatory standing to the side of this. This quaint. As you move towards the bridge, you can see how some of the sailors push past you to the front. They start shouting to the guards on the bridge. You start racing it, like pulling these massive winches. The north bridge raises up both of its sides, most moving to a straight position as this ship needs a lot of space to pass. It sails past the wall down into the Jaggery River, where they already seem to have gotten word of where they're supposed to lay anchor. Move up to one of the ship slowly moves up to one of the southern piers, reeling down the sails as just slow it down. As these are skilled sailors who have sailed much more treacherous waters than a calm river, they lay anchor easily. They dock at the down here. So you can even do this.
Dragon ping? What technology is this?
I know, right?
It's insane.
People start getting off the ship, starting to unload a few crates. There seems to be a few harbor workers that are half-heartedly helping them. You know, you can see the foreman. The only reason why I know he's the foreman is because they're only working when he seems to be looking this way.
Well, I'm not really built for, like, I'm pretty small. I'm not really gonna try to help out carrying any crates off, and
nobody seems to expect you to. These hardened men and women are carrying heavy loads, and you start just like feel the side of it, and it's like, okay, no, I was not built for this. Right?
I like try to help out for a little bit, and like, nah, that's not my job. I'm just gonna leave that. So I'm gonna see if the captain's busy.
Yes, he seems to be the captain, a very tall man wearing a red bandana, as well as a pair of, you know, short, like, cut-off hoses. Nothing on his upper body, just like a few scars, as well as a tattoo of a this like large heart on his shoulder with two bones crossing it. A man known as Derek of the Red Tower. You know that he owns a Shackles letter of marque, which is an offense punishable by death in most places, but you know, he didn't throw you off when he realized you were freeloading, so that's something.
And then I wasn't freeloading anymore. I paid for it, so
yeah.
So
making you an esteemed guest instead.
Definitely, I'm sure they were happy to have me.
Depending on how much you paid.
I approach him. Captain?
Suppose this is the end of the line for you, huh?
Yeah, I suppose it is. When are you sailing back?
Soon as we can. The Shalexian Navy has a tendency to come knocking, and It's hard times for us down south. They've been sending more and more dominators into our waters.
Right. That sounds like a lot of problem.
Eh, I've fought them before.
I'm sure nothing you can't handle, so,
Your people are resourceful, but they lack the tenacity of true sailors.
I suppose they do. I can't say I'm as much of a sailor myself as you may have noticed during our travel, but...
Certainly.
Do you know anything about Korvosa? Anything I should know about that before I set foot?
Well, I seem to have a very strange relationship to your type. I know they don't really like Shalaxians here, but they seem to have seem to be taking a lot of their money. So maybe that's about to change. I don't know. The city's in a transitional period. A lot of things happened. Rebellion. Tons of people died.
Yeah, I heard that much. I'm just thinking, like, don't shake hand with your right hand and do it with your left, or something, like anything I need to know about like that, or...
Nah. Yeah. Well, just remember that the further south you get, the more the nicer you have to dress to not attract attention.
I can dress pretty nicely.
The northernmost part, the little island, Old Korvosa, is the poorer parts of the city. I would avoid questioning authority there. They're very close to their leader. Some nobleman named Arcona.
Oh, Gloria Arcona, yeah.
They call him the Patriarch of Old Korvosa. Bad-mouthing him, or even not simply accepting everything he says as gospel up there is...
Captain, trust me, I've been around stuck-up noble types. Don't worry.
Well, you might be surprised how much support he has from the people.
Huh.
Yeah. You know, even the beggars on the street are probably gonna beat you up for bad-mouthing Gloria Arcona.
That bad, huh?
I say it is.
Well, I'll not do that then. Thank you for the advice and for the company, and kind of look as if I kind of want to leave and kind of don't want to leave. So northward is the adventure part, is what you're saying? That kind of thing?
Yeah. You're gonna find adventure in this place, alright? I'll be, some part of me is gonna miss you know that?
I somehow doubt that, but I appreciate the sentiment.
Take care, and your money is always welcome.
I know it is. Good luck down south as well. Are you going back?
No, well, we have some errands we need to do.
Alright, well, farewell. And I sort of do a half bow, and I realize that's probably not what they do, and then I just kind of nod and walk back off the ship and take my first step in Varizia.
Yes. The air smells of fish, putrid or otherwise. The
Smells like home.
and this
Bad
very
part of home.
strange sweet smell, almost like mango. The mix is not very impressive. As one could imagine.
Yeah.
Start walking down the slippery pier. As you get past the warehouses onto the first real street, a lot of people seemingly passing you by. It's a fast-moving city. People seem to be in a lot bigger of a hurry here than West Crown. And especially here in the harbor, you can see people just pushing past you to try and walk up to the ship. Probably some of them sightseers, just wondering what type of ship that is and why they're flying a weird flag.
What kind of flag are they flying even?
They are flying Amy's flag.
Ah, so a Jolly Roger then, or like the equivalent?
The flag they're flying is the same as the Tatooi's way.
Ah. But is it clear that it's a pirate flag then, or?
Yes.
Yeah. Well,
it's a Shackles flag in it.
Haha.
Usually the same thing.
Usually the same thing. There's not many honest sailors in Shackle, and if there are, they don't stay that way.
Yeah.
Well, I'll grab my walking stick, and I will make my way north.
Yes. You move your way up the.
Probably
one known as the-
like aiming towards the academy, I'm guessing.
Move way up the Warehouse Way, past Harborview Boulevard, and into the city. This is among the nicer parts of town. You see a few griffins flying above you. They seem to be doing aerial exercises.
Wow.
In groups of 3. You've heard of the Korvosa Sable Company. They're elite military wing and backup city guards, if they really need to be.
That is amazing.
And as you pass by a corner, you see a very strange-looking individual walking up towards you. He is short, almost unnaturally so, but his face and structure is not the one of a dwarf, neither a halfling. As they are sort of disproportional, this one just seems small.
Okay.
He's got a shortly cut beard and these very small, leering eyes. He's wearing this white, clean coat.
Mm-hmm.
As he comes up to you, just looks you up and down. You'll do. And he hands you a small metal plate. That's for you. And he just moves along. On the metal plate is a text, an inscription written in very beautiful cursive, which is the bearing the text, "You have been cordially invited to attend the Painters Modeling Agency at West Wing Boulevard 17.
I mean, clearly they have style here. They have class.
Yeah. Our modeling pay is 17 gold an hour. Please be sure to make your way there during daytime to schedule an appointment.
Where was this address, Sam? Sorry.
West Wing Boulevard 17.
Ah.
And where's that?
West Wing Boulevard. Yeah, that's a good question, actually. Yeah, I don't think your character knows city streets in Korvosa very well.
No.
I grab a nearby guard. Excuse me, West Wing Boulevard? Where can I find that?
I think it's pretty neat, though.
West Wing Boulevard? Oh, yes, of course. It is one of the streets closest to the academy. If you move up the hill, he just points in the direction. You're gonna and just pass along, trying to circle it from this side. It's gonna be the first street you encounter. It runs parallel to the Arcane Avenue.
Okay. Thank you. Anything to worry about down there? Up there? Wherever it is?
Just don't talk to anyone wearing robes, okay? It's for your own good. They're nutcases, all of them.
Right. Just so I know, so I don't talk to them. Why? Like, when you say nutcase, like, could you be a bit more specific?
They're gonna curse your balls, make you impotent. I don't know. I just don't talk to them.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Welcome to Korvosa, kid. He says and keeps walking.
This is an amazing city.
All right. After our little "there's no place like London" scene.
This is the best fucking Jolly Roger ever, by the way.
It's amazing.
It's still your shit. I love it.
You're
Look
like,
at that, look at
"Kid."
face. Look at that face, though. That's the face of a man who's gonna save the world.
Who are we moving on to?
We're moving on to two people making their way through one of the land routes to the east.
Ah, Blaze.
Yes, that would be Sarah, right?
Sure. Beiro Mondrea and Gerard Eisenwald. You're walking along the forest side. Moving towards Korvosa. It's been quite some trek. You've been walking. I assume none of you own horses because of starting gold.
Yeah.
And so you've been walking for 5 days now, and you're slowly but surely approaching your destination. This morning, when you consulted the map you brought, you realized this would probably be the last day of walking before you reach the city. And as you set off in the morning, you and hit one of the landmarks, a small city just east of Korvosa. Walked by a caravan that seemed to have gotten some issues with their wheels, so it broke down. And the people there seemed to be in the middle of fixing it. And you're walking alongside the forest on one side and the farmland on the other. It's you can't help but escape the feeling that a road like this is perfect for ambushes from bandits. But it's close enough to the city, right? That won't happen.
No.
And breaking tropes of if I mention something, it's gonna happen. Nothing happened. You weren't ambushed. No experience for you.
Oh.
Are you sure?
Or for them, I suppose.
Yes.
Yes. And as you take a sharp turn to the right in a T-cross, you see the city of Korvosa. Even though it's most of it is obscured behind the wall, you're going to be arriving by the North Bridge, by the way. There we go. Most of it, even though most of it is obscured by the wall, the city is still built uphill in a way that you see most of the houses. It's strange, probably for both of you, as neither of you have seen the city for a very long time now. But somehow, despite all that's happened, not a lot has changed. It still looks like the city you left. Probably a little bit bigger, because we tend to shrink things in our memories, but it's all there. The large slope up to the walled-in academy, the oversized walls to the inland, despite the city not having been invaded that way ever, the outskirts of the shingles, and the piers. Some of them more broken than others. The only thing that seems to have changed is when you look at the old Korvosan piers, most of them look new. And
I wonder where that happened.
I would like you to describe what your character looks like. And we will start with Beiro Mondrea.
Alright, so, Bayer Mondrea is a fairly well-built guy. He's about 6 feet tall. I can actually give you the exact measurements because I put them down. He is 6'1", go me, and fairly beefy about it. He is wearing this chainmail shirt. Yes, a steel version. Along with a couple of blue coats and some regular brown pants that are kind of baggy. And on his side, he's got a rapier hanging. That's pretty much it. I'm gonna be able to hit you up with the reference picture later, but yeah.
Gerard is slightly taller than Bayro. At about 6'5".
Slightly. That's 4 feet.
Yeah.
Alright.
But other than that, you can definitely see a slightly more of a build on him. And as far as hair goes, he's rocking a short, this like very very shortcut hair, mostly brown though clearly graying in parts. And from the bottom of his eye about down to his jawline, he has there's just like a scar. Probably something that he got from his time originally in Korvosa. And yeah, he's currently wearing a set of a splint mail covered by a cloak and what the hell do you call that little piece of cloth around, like you just kind of keep around your neck?
Scarf or a neckerchief?
Probably more of a neckerchief than a scarf, really.
You move up towards the North Bridge, with the two guard towers standing on either side of it.
Hey, Jerry.
And as you do, you see a very strange sight. A ship, a large one at that, sporting an, for you, probably unknown flag, comes moving down the Jaggery River. And as you approach the bridge, you see one of the guards holds out his hand towards you and says, "You'll have to wait before the bridge opens. There's a ship coming by. It won't take long."
What?
As the bridge opens up and the ship sails past.
See a stupid kid hanging on the side.
Yeah, you know, it's weird that.
Oh, sorry, you
No, sorry.
Hey, Jerry. I don't remember this bridge being this small. Did it shrink?
Yeah, he actually takes a long look at it. Not really. I don't fucking remember.
I could have sworn it was like a half a mile at least when I last saw it.
Pretty sure I left through the Bloodsworn Road.
Alright. Well, shit.
Yeah, are you as less than excited as I am to see this place again?
No, you know what? I'm pretty stoked. I'm looking forward to seeing the streets of my childhood again, I suppose. Even though we left it bad terms.
Yeah, he's gonna just take a quick drink from a water skin and say, "Well, I guess someone's gotta be."
You wanna take a look through the shingles? Or do you want to start off with finding a tavern to sleep for now?
No. I'll go with whatever you go with.
Alright. Well, let's start off with waiting for this bridge to move back, I suppose. How did they even get that to move? That is interesting.
I don't know. Magic?
Nah. Maybe?
The bridge lowers down once more, and you're allowed to cross. The guards notice you're wearing weapons, but you know, they're not paid to check that. They're, you know, you're gonna get.
What are they paid for?
That's a very good question. Racing bridges.
Standing by the bridge and looking cool.
Yeah.
Taking tolls from people who are actually being told. These guys are not merchants, or if they are, well, they're not carrying a lot of merchandise, are they?
They're main characters. Just let them pass.
We are the merchandise. Thank you very much.
Exactly.
Hands off.
One day you'll tell your children you saw me.
Pass over the bridge, entering the Northgate Avenue. This is among the most busy streets in the entirety of Korvosa. A lot of you actually remember how this street as it's very wide. You see a lot of horse carriages moving back and forth here, towards the bridge and south along the avenues. As you pass by the Northgate Avenue, to your left, you see this large, very seemingly ornate-looking building with beautiful glass windows but as you look down towards the door, you see that it has been nailed shut, with boards upon boards being placed in front of it. People just seem to walk by it, but that nobody's getting in there. Leaving such an almost church-like building like that, strange. Well, you probably both of you remember what this used to be, I presume.
Yeah,
I mean, it was such a high-profile building during its heyday. It was a temple to Saranre.
Was.
It still is, but there's nobody there.
Whatever happened to that temple, though? It used to be so full of life. What are we thinking? Old Town, New Town? The way Old Town looked last I saw it didn't look too good, but I think they rebuilt it.
As you move over Northgate Avenue, you find yourself by the Jaggery Circle, one of the main squares of Korvosa. Out in the corners, there's an almost farmer's market, open all days a week, almost round the clock. As when some shops close for the night, some see an opportunity and open up in their stead. It's a very, very busy square and probably among the best opportunities to earn the money. As you pass by, you see two of the guards escorting this raving doomsday prophet that had been standing on a box shouting profanities at people passing by. But yeah, they seem to have taken care of that one. And as you enter this square, you see a very strange-looking individual approaching you. It's a woman. It looks to be of Varisian descent, with a red bandana covering her hair. That sort of peasant-y look exists in direct contradiction to her long flowing robes that she's wearing. They look somewhat ornate. She eyes you both up and down. No rivals?
Kind of.
I don't think I've seen you here before. Would you mind coming over to this side just a little bit? Don't worry. I'm not gonna sell you something.
I mean, that wouldn't be the worst either. What's on your mind, Peter?
Yeah, you're gonna have to go further north to find girls like that. No, I was
You see Beto just going like starkly red for us, and just go, "Oh, no, what?"
No, I'm just tasked with handing out these. Says, and she hands you both metal plates.
Yeah, guards just raise an eyebrow. What is this?
Invitations to an art studio by a very famous and skilled individual named the Painter. That's what people call him anyway. He's looking for models and pays very well. 17 gold an hour.
Does this painter have a name?
I'm only employed second hands. I don't know. Ask around if you like.
Well, what's your name then?
Oh, my name's Alexandra. I'm a student at the academy. This is just something I do for getting a little extra income.
The academy, huh?
Mm-hmm.
That's neat. So you, what are you, is your study of preference? You,
I'm afraid I cannot tell you.
Oh, come on, I was gonna try and get in, if I'm honest. Well, not necessarily enroll, but, just take a look around. See what they're doing.
We don't have gates.
Wait. How do you get in?
I'm not allowed to tell you.
Wait, right. Magic. Never mind.
Well, that's an interesting problem. I'm gonna have to work on that for a bit.
Let's say if you get in, you're enrolled.
Nice.
But
Gerd is like just nodding to himself, like, yeah, that makes sense.
I gotta keep going. But have a look at that thing I gave you, of course.
Sure. Thanks.
She moves away. Sort of, she tries to get into the nearby crowd to get out of sight as quickly as she can. It works, so but after a brief moment, you can't see her anymore.
So this plate, is it just text?
Yes.
It's the same text, right?
You have been cordially invited to attend the Painter's Art Studio, West Wing Boulevard 17, for a modeling contract.
So
It will be 17 gold an hour.
So Gerard, what do you think are the odds that this is a scam directed at newcomers?
He sits there, he thinks for a second. I'm not sure if I'm the most subjective one to ask that to.
Oh, you really don't like the city, do you?
No. Well, no. Just stop a second. No.
Well, I'm glad you came along anyway. This would have been a much more boring journey without you. So, do you want to check this out? I'm kind of curious.
Sure, why not? One
Yes.
gets antsy if you haven't been mugged. At least if you haven't been mugged that day.
Well, I mean, there could be 17 gold each in it for us. Who knows?
34 if you stay for 2 hours.
Ooh, math. I don't do it.
Yeah.
You're an intelligence cast. Come on, my guy.
No, I'm charisma based.
Oh no.
You expect Yaku to play someone who isn't a charisma based character?
My archetype turns Magi into charisma based. Spontaneous. Sam did not like that.
It's alright, I'll forgive you.
What do you expect
face,
from?
though, don't worry about it.
What do you expect from?
No.
What do you expect?
It's
What?
funny. It's
Huh?
funny. It's funny. I like it.
Why is it funny? What? What's funny?
What's it called? I'm curious.
Eldritch Scion.
Oh, right. Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's how I got the bloodline and all.
Yeah, right. You get a Blood Rager bloodline.
Yeah.
That's funky.
Yeah. We talked about this.
Yeah, I know we did. I know we did. It's just...
Anyway.
Alright. And as you make your way towards West Wing Boulevard 17, we will move to our final protagonist.
Whoa, tagonist. Those faces, though.
I'm on mute, sorry, go on.
Yes. Do I get to pick where I come from, or did you have something in
yes.
mind?
I don't actually know where you come from, so.
Well, I would actually kind of assume that he was just a little bit behind Beiro and Gerard, entering the North Bridge.
Okay, sure. The you see the same ship passing by, but I assume you arrived just when the bridge is being lowered again, and it's sailing down river, towards the harbor. You can see an idiot hanging out from the side, from the waving at everything that moves.
London.
Yes, don't make pies though, my guy. We're not having that campaign.
I can't breathe.
Yes.
So as the bridge lowers, you make your way in towards the city. It's you're not alone. There are two people walking in front of you. They look strangely a lot like mercenaries, but you've seen a lot of them on your way. They didn't look like anything special.
I'll pay them no mind.
No, there's a few. The guards seem to be focusing on stopping the merchants, tolling them. But you just get by.
I suppose I shouldn't. I suppose I
s-
shouldn't bother them while they're working.
They give you a few strange looks, but they're not skeptical enough to stop you.
I'll keep walking a bit further into the city, trying to locate another guard.
Sure, it doesn't take you very long. As you pass by the North Gate Avenue and the golden steps up towards the Abadar Temple, you see two guards standing on the side of it, conversing with one another.
I'll approach them.
They're wearing the standard Korvosan guard uniform, which is a tabard over a chainmail, with just a sword and a shield on their backs.
Excuse me, gentlemen.
I think one of them furrows his brow, just eyeing up and down. Yeah, what do you want?
I'd like to ask for some directions, if I may. Do you happen to know where I could find Hillcrest Street?
Hillcrest Street? That's a good-ass fucking question. Yeah, it's up on the heights. Just move uphill, past those walls you see up there. So it's running parallel to those. You won't miss it.
Thank you, gentlemen. And have a good day.
Yeah.
And he'll just keep walking.
See, you hear them just talking. What was that? What was that all about? He looked like a
fucking leper.
Maybe we should keep an eye on that. Huh? Is there some plague going? Some plague shit going on, right?
Not again.
Like, immediately get PTSD from 7 years ago. Like, oh god.
They were probably here back then. Huh?
We don't have the money to pay those motherfuckers at the temple again.
Sarah's character just walking down the street like P.A. so domina.
Dones Requiem.
And you guys already know what my character looks like.
We can. You should describe him anyway. I want to hear it in your words.
We're recording.
Well, he's a very, very large man. I'll have to actually look up my sheet to know how big he is. I actually don't think he's larger than. Yeah, he's actually shorter than Gerard. He is 6.1.
Hey, height bros.
And wears he wears like a semi-traditional desert traveler garb with a visible hide armor, and On his left arm, he carries a very large wooden shield, and sheathed on the right side is a large battle axe. He seems to wear some form of metal mask, and the only pieces of his body that aren't clothed are covered in bandage.
I just realized we're a party of buff boys.
I was gonna point out, all three of you are way taller than fucking Gideon. I think it's gonna be like the three muscle boys, and I'm gonna be.
Yeah, see, this is why I didn't want you to play a melee fighter, right? It would be
You can call it, man.
we'd be like three tall buff people standing in melee, and you're just there being like,
And I'm here too.
No, like Gideon's just gonna stand in the back, like, I choose you, Barrow.
Okay, can we just call this session, this campaign, a wizard and the goon squad?
Whoa! Who says I'm a wizard?
Okay, sorry, the ninja wizard and the goon squad.
that's
Look, man,
racist.
that ice knife though.
Yeah, this is a regular Brassers episode.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
Yeah, okay. So
Yes.
you're talking about your height. Sorry.
Well, I pretty much finished describing my character.
All right. As you pass by the jaggery circle, you make your way onto the tastelessly named Dead Shawanthi Way.
You'd think they would have changed that during the past 7 years.
Yeah, no. It's hard.
Guys, it's part of our culture. It's just we can't change it. It's culturally ingrained.
Guys.
I know there's
Yell
peace
about-
between the Shawanti now, and they like save their ass. But look, it's part of Korvosa's history.
They are honoring the Dead
They're
Shawanthi by calling
honoring
it.
them.
Yes.
Yeah.
It would be more offensive to change it, right?
Yeah.
Yes. To sort of alive, maybe, Shawanthi Way.
Said someone while driving his wagon through a crowd of people.
Dude, they've censored things for less reason. Like
You know-
the fucking Donald Duck Christmas cartoons and the like the fucking
And
Pippi,
the Hitler one, propaganda one.
the Pippi Longstocking books.
Oh yeah.
Also, but look, man, if they change that, then they'll also have to take down the pikes with all the Shawanti heads on, and then we're gonna deal with an entire fucking kerfuffle.
It's just-
Oh my god, no,
so
this
much
is an
work.
administrative nightmare, you know, and then somebody has to do that. They have to move them, they're gonna have to pay administrative fees, tolls.
Yeah, and we'll have like a bunch of conservative hippies from old Korvosa. So walking around like picketing the fucking place and chaining themselves to the poles like this is part of our history. You
On the
cannot
third-
deny our history.
On the third day, Saran recreated the Remington bolt action rifle.
And that's what I got knocked the fuck out and was never seen again. So maybe we shouldn't keep them as role models. I don't know. Like this is the church that was completely fucking obliterated in the course of what, like 2 months?
Actually, like 17 minutes.
Yeah, you gave it way too much credit, man.
Uh,
Ouch.
Ooh.
yeah, Saranre's dead. The Rakshasa killed him.
Them gash down Rakshasas, here they come from where God knows where and change our culture, demanding us to take down our fucking Shawanti head pikes.
They won't even learn common. Like trying to make us speak Abyssal or whatever the fuck they speak in the hell in this system.
It's really crazy how like the Shawanti were like really the good guys, and like with this context in like in Curse, like, can we just have the bones back of our son? No. Now go away.
Well, that wasn't the Korvosan's fault.
Yeah. Also, to be fair, the Skullquaw are actually like really cool comparatively with all of them. It's a Skullquaw than a fucking
A
dick.
fucking necromancer stole them. You know, it wasn't.
It's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
Wonder if we ever see that guy again.
But the whole
No.
building their castle atop a Shwanzi holy pyramid, that's...
They did an
That's,
oopsie, Sam. They did an oopsie.
I'm kind of curious as to how many Domina clones are still out there.
That's a
Didn't
very
they
good
kill
question.
most of them?
They were disarmed during the after the battle and they're forbidden from bearing arms.
So given the bright shadow, how literal are we talking?
I don't think he's been hunting them down, honestly.
I hate this woman so much.
Apart from the ones that were causing trouble, there might have been a few of those disappearing. It's kind of hard to keep track of them, you know.
I want to see an entire city of just nothing but Domina clones.
Oh god.
But there most definitely are a few left.
Jerry.
So, as you're about to make your way towards the dead Shwanti way, you see you hear steps approaching you quickly from and you feel somebody tapping you on the shoulder.
Okay.
Turn around. You
I
see
slowly turn around.
short woman wearing a red bandana and a pair of somewhat ornate robes. She looks somewhat stressed and is carrying a large shoulder bag, and can see some metal things sticking out of her mat. I'm sorry for disturbing you. Could we just walk over to the side here? I'm sorry. I'm not trying to sell you anything. It's just another thing, right? There's a lot of people here, and I don't like getting trampled by horses.
You do realize that that is probably the worst segue into whatever you're trying to do, don't you?
Well, getting trampled by horses would be an even worse segue. Whatever segue is.
Very well.
And as you step to the side, so I couldn't help but notice you have a very unique appearance, and I'm out here looking for people to. There's an artist in town. He's known as the Painter, a very skilled one at that. He's looking for models of people with the.
I'm not interested. I just cut her off.
Just take this thing, okay? She says, handing you a plate. You don't have to go there. It's okay. Just take that, okay? You can smelt it down for whatever if you need to.
Well, if that's all I need to do, then why not? But I have no intention of modeling for anyone.
Pay 17 gold an hour.
Afraid it's still not happening. But thank you for the offer, and I wish you a good day.
You take one of the plates?
I suppose I'm giving no choice.
Roll a reflex save.
Roll a will sip.
You take a plate. And then make your way towards the Hillcrest Street.
Indeed.
Okay. We will actually continue with your travels towards Hillcrest Street for now.
Yes.
Gasp.
I have been told by my mentor that I was supposed to meet someone here, and I should have semi-good directions. Well, not directions as such, but I should know what I'm looking for when I get to Hillcrest.
Who?
I am currently looking for a... let's see, I am looking for an associate of my mentor known as... Mr. Falmir.
Whatever thing you're reading from right now, I want it.
That would be my backstory. Will send it to you.
Oh, good.
Okay, sure.
It should be somewhere at the end if you're trying to pinpoint it.
Things
Fine.
I want before sessions.doc.
I have already sent this to you, though.
Have you? When?
Yes. Like way before we started this. Like,
Okay.
you know, when I was discussing this with you the first time.
Oh,
Anyway.
just a minute.
Here you go. Like, this is the relevant part.
Oh, that's like 2 sentences.
Yeah, like, Discord was like, you can't send a message that's over 2,000 characters long. So I just took the relevant part and sent it.
All right, I'll just use my Fnassel speed reading powers, and hope for the best.
Yes.
Like, if you want the backstory, it's actually on my character sheet. So
That works too. Oh damn! Why didn't you say that? There we go.
And I just wanted to remind you, since you seem to have forgotten, you did approve the backstory.
I'm sure I did. Past Fnassel was probably more sensible than current Fnassel.
Past Fnossel's a dumbass.
Past Fnassel is when it comes to role-playing games, he's kind of consistent. At least for the past few years.
The past Azos is okay. It's the future one I worry about.
It's the current one I worry about.
That too.
But Mr. Necromancer, Sam, what are you going to do with the Shawanti bones? I was going to make soup stock out of them. What do you think?
So, the past Yaku used to be pretty bad, but I can do worse.
Yeah. That Zaku was terrible. This one is like fucking in campaign villain levels of bad.
It's okay, I remembered everything from this except for the last sentence. 2 paragraphs.
Very well.
There we go. All right.
Things you should read before the session starts. .png.
Show your mouth.
In his defense, this I only added the backstory today because when I added it the first time, I had to remove it because the character sheets were visible to everyone else. And literally, the last 2 paragraphs were something I added as his reason for being here.
Shut up and let me bully Sam. It doesn't happen very often.
You are denied from bullying our god.
See, this is why no one likes holy men.
Yeah, I was about to say fucking religious pricks.
Yeah, right. What a douchebag.
Fuck you.
A fiduciary. Straight up.
Fuck you, mate.
Fuck yeah.
There's no vodka. There's boomshine.
Anyway, you
Yes.
Move along the up the hill. You start noticing that when you get towards the more the steeper roads, there are a lot less horse carriages.
Oh, that seems fair enough.
And the walled-in building, known as the Academy, the walls on the outside are almost entirely covered by marble. It looks strange, and like you've heard, it does not have an entrance. At least not a physical one. Instead of turning towards it, you turn to a left onto Hillcrest Street. Moving down to follow your mentor's directions.
Indeed.
As you find yourself outside of Hillcrest Street 41, a surprisingly small house. It does have 2 floors, but it's lodged in between 2 larger buildings that almost overlap on top of it. It's made entirely out of stone. It looks robust, even though it's old. One of those old structures that have stood the test of time.
But
As
it's quite
you-
small, you say?
Yes,
Very well.
it's very rectangular.
I approach and I knock on the door.
It's a double door, almost covering this entire side of the building. You can see a small symbol sitting atop the door handle. A rose.
I do recognize the rose.
You do recognize the rose.
Yes, I do.
I'm not going to force you to roll a check to.
No, like, I know what it is.
Yeah.
And it explains why I'm here.
Takes a brief moment, but see a man wearing very thick black wool robes opening. He's a man, so the boundary years between man and boy, about 18, 19. He's carrying a sword in his belt. He's got an entirely shaven head, but you can see that he's very well built in the very athletic runner sort of way, even though he doesn't look like much of a warrior. Eyes you up and down. Huh. It's you.
It has been a while.
Come on in. My master is expecting you.
I enter.
You're led in through a hallway, which is somewhat dimly lit. There are a few there's a torch hanging on the wall, but for some reason it doesn't seem to be emanating any heat. Inside of here, you see a lot of more religious symbolism, and so you see, even though it's a very small building, you see another two people sitting around, sharpening the pointy edges on a morning star. They have this very special tool which you've seen people use this before, where they have it almost looks like a corkscrew, which they use to sharpen the morning star edges. So they look up towards you somewhat questioningly, but don't say anything about it.
Probably for the better.
And you're led into a room. It is more well lit than the others, and you can see a large table in the middle of it. There are no chairs, only pillows to sit on. You can see a man sitting by it, drinking a cup of tea. The tea is red, almost blood red, but it's transparent and watery the same way tea is. On the walls, you see paintings of battles. One of them depicting a dragon seemingly attacking Castle Korvosa from above, while people are storming it from below.
Good memories.
Good times.
Sitting, the man drinking the tea is he's a human. He's dressed in these long, flowing, jade-colored robes. Much like the others, he is wielding a morning star, but you can see that the edges of them are glowing faintly. And it has a lot of inscriptions on the side of it, written in Celestial. Seems to be.
Just want to point out, I can read Celestial, but I'm not going to look too closely.
The man himself is much like the others. He's shaven his head, and has bright green eyes matching his robes. He's old, easily in his upper 60s. But as he sees you, his face breaks out into a smile. Oh, you're a Mahalo student. Sit down.
I give him a bow before sitting down. Would be the first time we've met in person.
Yes, of course.
My master has spoken highly of you.
You're Roibus, correct?
Rubos. Yes.
Haven't heard it pronounced, simply in writing. And my name, as you've already, assume you're already aware, is Jonathan Falmer.
It is a pleasure.
I am the head of this city's chapter of our faith. This is hardly a building fitting for the Red Rose of the Revolution, but we make do.
Indeed. It must be quite interesting to live in a city as large as this. To be surrounded by so many people with so many differing viewpoints.
It's strange. But these past 7 years, we've lived here in peace. Ever since the Queen was toppled, the city has recovered quickly. The people don't care about administration. They don't care about the monarch. As long as they feel like they're being treated fairly, the world will keep churning on.
I suppose somehow the world finds a way to revolve. With or without its people. With or without their guidance.
I'm afraid that will change soon. However, there's a ship coming. And it's carrying change.
Positive or negative one?
I'm afraid that's up for the future to show. Today, a ship arrived, carrying pirate ship from the Shackles, carrying wares. We've been trading with them slightly for the past few years. However, that is not the one I'm talking about. There has been a ship following them, coming all the way here from Thuvia. The Everdawn, the largest battleship of the Sarenrae faith. It is spearheaded by their most powerful and thorough inquisitor, a man named Rorik the Lightforged. He's about to turn this city on its head. I appreciate you delivering your parcel to me, but without coming off as rude, I'm going to have to give you another task.
Of course.
He's going to do his best to make sure no harm comes to the city, but inquisitors, especially those of such an archaic order as the Sarenrae faith, have a tendency to overstep their boundaries and overstay their welcome.
I believe that whatever business they may have in Korvosa is far beyond me, and therefore I will do my best to simply stay out of their way and let the city handle them.
I just want you to help make sure that no harm comes to innocent citizens.
Of course.
Even though engaging the Sarandra's chosen in direct combat is both unwise and foolish,
I believe we will come to some form of understanding should that happen. Don't worry. Master has trained me well. I am no longer the fool I once was, and I do not seek battle as easily.
That is certainly true, given the letters he sent me about you. Now, the parcel.
Of course. I grab into my bag and take out a middle-sized rectangle-shaped green parcel for him. Or like it's wrapped in something green.
He receives it. It looks like it survived the journey. It's wonderful. Puts it down. Next to the table. Now, while I would very much like you to stay in our establishment, we have very limited space, and thus I have pulled a few strings, giving you 2 weeks' rest at a nearby inn. You're of course welcome to visit this establishment as much as you like, but we do not have sleeping accommodations even for the people living here currently, and we could certainly not house one more.
Do not worry. I have received sufficient enough funds that I will be able to stay here for a while, at least until I find work or until I decide to leave. There should be no issue.
That is great news, but if anything comes up, the Golarion, I'm a good friend of their owner. Please promise to reserve a room for you. Paid, of course.
It is very much appreciated. By the way, I had a slight question.
Anything?
It's probably nothing particularly important. As I entered the city, I was approached by a very unique woman, I would say. And she handed me one of these, and I gave him the tablet with the painter's invitation.
The painter. Certainly no artist I've ever heard of, and paying 17 gold an hour for modeling for one of his paintings. That is certainly a salary that would make Sable Company guards jealous.
Indeed. That's why it's so strange.
You do have a striking appearance, but
I did tell her I was in no way interested in modeling for this person, but she seemed strangely insistent that I take the invitation.
What did this woman look like?
I gave him the general appearance of her. She was clad in actually I don't think you gave me a very particular description of her.
She was wearing long, flowing, almost light blue robes, and was wearing a red bandana, which she was very ornately dressed for a Korvosan. As you tell him this, he furrows his brows as well. Sounds like an academy student.
An academy student. You mean from the academy north of here? The one with no entrances?
Yes, the magical school. But if you hear any more about this painter, just keep your ears and eyes open.
I shall keep that in mind. For now, I suppose this is the first time I've ever been to a civilization. I'm going to follow my master's suggestion and take a look around, take in the environment a bit.
I suspect you might already know this, but your kind is not exactly popular in Korvosa. While your disguise is certainly striking, it's probably better than the truth.
It's okay. I was prepared for this long before I came here. I'm certain I will be able to handle any questions about my identity.
If you get any troubles with the guards, just send them my way.
It's very appreciated, Master Felmir. But I will try not to send any unnecessary trouble your way.
We protect our own. Now then, would you like to stay for some food?
It has been a while since I had breakfast. I will gladly accept your invitation.
And that is just about where we're going to switch the perspective.
I assumed so.
Should we do a 5-minute break, or do you want to continue?
I
thought it feels like a good place to.
Yeah, I'm kind of hungry and wish to make myself a sandwich.
All right.
Welcome to Death in Texas. Starts with getting modeling gigs.
Woo!
It's not too bad, actually.
This is not a modeling gig. It's not. No. Damn.
So, moving on to Mr. Antoine Gideon Alexander Lucian Tyrannus.
Almost.
Tyrannosaur.
The fourth.
Rex.
Gideon Alexander Lucian Tyrannus.
Tyrannus, actually.
Tyrannus.
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 Just letting everyone know that's how it's pronounced. I'm sure no one's going to make that mistake.
That is the Tyrannus is the most Shalaxian name I've ever heard.
Yep.
Tyrannus Pirannosaur?
Except for like Thrun.
That's where they got the inspiration. Actually, it was from Tytos in Game of Thrones.
Ah! Yeah, it's a very, very Shalaxian name. It's like if it sounds like somebody who would run a Roman city into the ground, it's
Exactly.
It's a good Shalaxian name.
Exactly.
After receiving the plate, you're heading up the Harborview Boulevard.
Mm-hmm.
Where are you going?
Did he say when? Oh, sorry. Yeah, Did they say when?
The plate wanted you to get there to schedule an appointment.
Oh, you know, I was considering doing that, but I thought first I just wanted to kind of like pass by the academy, just see the wall, and to see if, there's anything interesting there.
Absolutely. You start walking up the hill towards the academy. It's getting towards later in the afternoon. And as you arrive, as you get closer, you see the large 30 feet high walls looming up above you. They're made almost entirely out of marble. They're very thick, and as you try touching them, knocking on them, one is not getting any camera sitting landmarks. Yeah, you're not getting through those anytime soon. You see a few students walking around, carrying large stacks of books, talking quietly with one another. They seem to try to keep a very low profile. The reason you know they're students is because you got the warning about the robes. Most of them are wearing these light blue robes, very almost white. But a few of them are wearing robes of different colors. You're not really sure what that signifies, but it's probably not their alignment. As is, we won't have the laundry day at the Tower of High Sorcery.
Is was this a place without a gate?
It does not have a gate. As you walk around it, you cannot see a single hole in the marble wall of any sort.
Shame.
It's all the way around.
Shaking his head.
Well,
He spreads his wings and what?
I most certainly do not. I will accept defeat
Cast summon boat and then
And-
boats his way over it.
and
Yeah.
see where this plate wanted me to go to. What was it? Boulevard?
West Wing Boulevard 17.
West Wing Boulevard 17. Sure, I'll follow the direction I got from the guard and make my way there and see. I mean, this is not where I was gonna go, but might as well. This is the quickest I've ever gotten a job, so, you know. This is also my first job.
This is West Wing Boulevard.
Okay, well, it's close then. Nice. Then I'll just go there and see what I might find.
Yes. You move alongside West Wing Boulevard until you find building number 17. It's a large house, somewhat extravagant actually, with a terrace on the upper floor. You can, as you approach it, you can feel the same smell of mango as you did by the docks, but without the rotting fish, making it surprisingly pleasant, as if it's covered in some sort of incense or smoke or perfume. The door handle is made out of glass and is sculptured like the claw of a tiger, the paw of a tiger. And the outer wall, it's made with some very brightly colored wood, so it's brown but almost white. The roof is, contrary to most buildings around here, not covered in roof tiles, but is instead covered in some sort of smoothed out white stone, almost looking like chalk. You can see that the building actually has real glass windows, contrary to
Okay.
the lids, the like wooden chutes or whatever that's common in the rest of the city.
Well, I suppose I shall go up and knock.
As you do, it takes a brief moment before the door swings open, revealing a tall individual with he's slightly taller than you are anyway.
Everyone's taller than me, apparently. So,
This bright blonde hair, shoulder length bright blonde hair, and these blue almost white eyes. He's dressed in a very well tailored tunic, as well as with nothing to speak of underneath except for a pair of sandals. He's wearing a long red scarf that's hanging down over his back. He looks somewhat concerned at first, but then the concerned gaze turns questioning and says, "Can I help you?"
yes. Hi. I'm here for a job. Apparently, they wanted to.
Ah, yes. You were given one of those plates, may I see it?
Yeah, sure. With plates.
Ah, wonderful. Okay, so picks up a large notebook. He just reaches to the side and picks it up as if it was on a table nearby. When do you have time? Is it any specific weekday?
Now?
That is not possible, I'm afraid, as the painter is out getting supplies.
Do you have a picture of this painter? Did he ever do a painting of himself?
He's a man of great talent, but he's certainly no narcissist.
I'm just wondering, does anyone else painted him?
He enjoys painting people of interesting character. And you must have been approached by one of our scouts.
Well, I am pretty interesting. I don't know how the scout know that, but...
Well, accidentally drawing famous people has never been a problem of his before, and it probably won't be in the future either.
He seems very talented.
Oh yes, very.
But the problem is I'm leaving Korvosa in... time?
Oh yes, of course. We will fit you in as quickly as possible. Tomorrow afternoon?
Sure. How long?
It's going to take about 3 hours.
Okay. I mean, sure. I suppose.
As advertised, you will be paid 17 gold an hour, plus some food.
Okay. That seems reasonable. But what? He just picks up people and and paints them?
Yes.
What's...
Scouting out interesting looking people as models for his painting.
Huh. Is he famous in town, or?
Oh yes, very. He's many of his paintings are featured on the walls in Castle Korvosa.
Oh.
He did several of the previous queen, but I suppose they have been taken down.
Right. Tomorrow afternoon.
Yes, of course.
Okay, sure. Then I guess I'll leave you to it. What is it you do?
Oh no, I'm simply his butler and scheduling assistant. My name is Mikaios de Marte, but well, I'm nobody of great importance.
Well, it's nice to meet you. And I suppose I'll be back tomorrow then. Thank you
Wonderful.
for your time. I think.
Yes, I will be seeing you tomorrow. Make sure to keep your looks up.
I mean, of course. I can't do anything else, can I?
You'd be surprised how many people deteriorate through the years.
Right, I'll take your word for it. So take a step back. Thank you. And have a nice day.
Gives you a conclusive nod and closes the door.
I just take my notebook, write down. I think there might be something fishy going on.
No! You're just gonna get paid and get food.
I just tap my shin
Probably a hero
with a
speech.
pen. Kind of glance to the side, other side. Is there a... sorry, yeah.
As you're standing there, overlooking, you're standing over here, by the way. Looking out towards the water, you see something large approaching from the south.
Sorry, large from the south?
A ship
Ooh.
sailing in the same way yours came. However, this one sports 4 masts. And its hull is covered with multiple cannons.
Wow.
2 rows of them.
Wow.
The side of the ship is painted bright yellow, and you can see in the... it's flying a flag of an angelic creature stylized like a sun. And in the front you can see written in golden letters, or golden plated letters. If you didn't know better, you'd say that they were made of actual gold.
Wow.
It reads, The Everdawn.
Do I know anything about that?
Can roll a knowledge religion if you like.
I don't have that.
Then you have no idea. Or you do know that the flag they're flying is the dawn flower, the symbol of Sarenrae.
Huh.
This is certainly a battleship fit for the Thrune High Command, and
Impressive.
it's what it's doing here. It moves up the and starts moving in the Jaggery River slowly. You can see that it's turning at a surprising agility for a ship that size. It's seems to handle really well,
Okay.
and it moves in the same way your ship did. After a few minutes, disappearing from view after a few minutes.
Well, that was spectacular. There's a lot of interesting things happening in the city right now. I mean, there's painters and big ships, and I'm here. Now then, about the building, is there like a... Like, do they have like a window to the front door? Or is that... Can I like
The
stand
front
there
door-
without them seeing me?
The front door is made out of glass.
Shit.
Thus, it's a window.
Do they have like windows on the side? Is there a back
Oh
door?
yes, yes. There seems to be some sort of garden on the back
Hmm.
with
Well,
a high hedge surrounding it.
uh-oh.
Oh no, it's not a thorn bush this time.
Okay. Because that's gonna be problematic to get through.
You will not take lethal damage trying to climb over it this time.
Okay. You know, I mean, where I come from, there's no law that says you can't just, look around. I'm just gonna walk to the hatch. See if how
See,
this place looks.
find a place that looks a bit thinner than usual and just
Yeah.
part it.
No, I'm just curious. There's no law that says you can't do this, I think.
Sure. You could roll a stealth test if you like.
Aha.
The campaign's first die roll.
Ooh.
Yay.
Here we go.
Are you gonna break into a high security battle academy again?
Yes. 18.
Sure. You move up to the side, peering in through the hedge. Inside, you can see a lush garden with. It seems to be a fruit plantation with these large red round fruits grow from trees.
Mm-hmm.
You can see a few gardeners walking around, being overseen by the same person that greeted you at the door. The gardeners are clearly the two gardeners are clearly Shuanti in origin, and are dressed in these sort of workmen's clothes. On the side of the garden close to the house is a terrace. And on it, you can see a man sitting in what looks like a lawn chair. This is very like an armchair. It was like a leaned back armchair. He's got somewhat of a sunken-in face, and is hardly one that you would consider beautiful. He is wearing long red robes, and he's got very soft facial features and a completely shaven head. Completely shaven, almost oval head. He seems to be overlooking the workers while drinking directly from some large jug standing next to him. And after a while, he stands up, moving over towards the his seeming assistant. And if you want to hear what they're saying, you can roll a perception check.
Ah, yes. Now we're getting to the difficult part.
And they seem to be mumbling something you cannot hear from the distance.
Could you speak up, please? I'll just be standing there in the hedge, just kind of like trying to listen.
Seem to be speaking quietly for a while, and after that, the oval-faced bald one, walks into the house again, leaving his companion outside, overlooking the gardeners.
I have an idea, but
please don't.
I will set fire to the hedge.
I cast Burning Hands.
I'll set fire to the hedge.
No, I'll be standing here if the others arrive around this time. But I'm probably standing in the hedge at this point.
Right about now. Two individuals, wearing swords of different sizes.
Very different sizes.
Approach the house. See the same sight as our previous individual, with this white, almost chalk-like roof, proper windows, and a glass door.
Say, Gerard.
Huh?
Isn't this a bit strange, though? Whatever. I'll just knock the door. Hey! Is the painter somewhere around here?
Takes a brief moment, and you suddenly see how the assistant, you hear the sound of a doorbell, Gideon, as the assistant hurries into the house and over to the front side. Opening up, you see this long-haired, blonde, blue-eyed individual standing in front of you with his well-tailored tunic. Oh, good afternoon. What can I help you with?
Well, we got these plaques just after returning to town.
Oh, yes. It looks like our scouts are hard at work. We just had another visitor.
Really?
Yeah, a few minutes ago.
Well, regardless, the job might seem fun and all. Are you the painter, by the way?
Oh, no. I'm simply his humble assistant.
Well, I'd be more interested in taking a look around as a connoisseur, I think. Is there any artwork you can show us?
You can roll a sense motive check.
Oh boy. You know what? Gerard will do that too.
Sense motive. Oh yeah, I'm good at that.
Oh yeah, you're telling me. This guy seems great.
I'm afraid we do not have any for sale currently.
Oh no, but I'd just be interested in checking it out. It's been a while since I saw a good painting, really, and well,
Oh, you're a painter yourself?
no, I'm not, but there used to be a couple of rounds I saw 'em. There was this one artist that lived right nearby who painted with mold.
Oh, that's very interesting.
Yeah, do you know them?
I'm not sure. I do not think I've heard of them.
Okay, he's from back old town.
Oh,
But so you're saying this painter doesn't have any paintings?
not any for sale currently, I'm afraid.
Oh, but I'm not necessarily looking to buy. I just want to look.
Well, I suppose I could show you.
All right, nice.
But you are interested in the modeling, correct?
I don't know. Doesn't that involve like standing still for a bunch of hours and shit?
Certainly pays better than any other job you could find in the city currently.
Yeah, sure, but I'm out. Couldn't keep a straight face for that long.
The two of you are mercenaries, correct?
That is correct.
Wonderful.
Well, look.
See here, he looks behind him. I'll be in touch, he says, closing the door.
Hey, what about the paintings?
Yeah, this is
they're
definitely
shit
fishy.
anyway.
Yeah, I'm pretty yeah. So about that question you asked earlier, you know, if this seems like a scam.
Yeah, no, I'm sold. Like, he's been prickly, and artists are prickly. I think this is legit, man.
He just looks at him for a second. Look, you realize never mind.
No, I think this is actually kind of, at least slightly legit. It's
Gideon,
weird,
you hear a conversation coming from the front door.
it's weird that
Shit, I pull my head out of the hedge.
Sure.
Do I? Is the hedge visible for us?
No, not unless
Okay.
you go around the side,
Okay.
the back of it.
I
Now,
creep
then,
along the
so-
wall and I just look.
You see two men standing, both of them very tall, wielding weaponry. They're dressed very much like mercenaries.
Wow, they're so tall
Well,
and so strong.
oh my god, he's so skinny and invisible.
And fucking tiny.
So
Truly, worlds collide right now.
So did he say he was gonna be in touch?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what he said. Also, that doesn't sound sketchy at all.
I'm just gonna look at the plate, look back at Gerard, and then just cast detect magic on the plate.
It
And-
is not magical.
It's not magical.
Yeah.
Huh. All right then.
Maybe we should still get rid of it.
I'll just leave it here for him to give to somebody else to not show his artwork to. Whatever. Do you want to get something to eat? I'm hungry.
Yeah, that actually sounds great right now.
I aggressively jot down in my notebook that I saw 2 large magic users.
Two
Oh,
large
boy,
giant
you're-
cruisers, eh?
Boy, you're gonna be disappointed when you meet one of them.
Yes. I can't summon a boat, sorry.
Painter's Gallery. Okay, well, if you guys... Are you guys leaving? Or...
I guess we're gonna turn around and look for the nearest tavern, yeah.
I just sort of... Psst. Hey, you two.
Did you hear something?
Over here.
Where?
I'm not actually invisible, I'm just behind the wall.
Just hand slowly reaches for the weapon.
You got those weird plates too, right?
Yeah, you too? Oh, you must have been the earlier visitor, huh?
Yeah. And I was just looking behind here. There's some weird shit going on.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Could probably put that together.
What's going on?
I don't know, but there's some weird shit going on.
I've never heard more helpful information before.
If you wouldn't mind, please clarify?
There's like a really scary guy in the garden down there. He's bald and he's got a red cloak and stuff. And they're picking fruits.
By
So
the
you're
gu-
saying there's
I've never
a
heard
bald-
something so horrific.
by the gods, I meant a bald man with a penchant towards gardening.
Do you know I could go for a berry cupcake?
Don't you think it's weird?
To be picking berries in your own yard?
No. Well, yes, but no. I mean, the painting and I mean, I know I'm handsome, but you two aren't, so I'm not sure why they're like picking you two for this. There's clearly something else going on here.
Now, look here, you little shit. Okay, so
I'm just saying that there has to be something else at work.
no, you did. Okay, I will
Foot
agree.
meet it's like foot meet mouth.
Did Gideon ever make himself invisible, or is he still just like hiding behind something while talking?
I was never invisible. I'm just behind the wall.
Yeah. No, I will agree to you that there's something fishy, but the fishiness isn't our looks. It's the fact that a guy called the Painter doesn't have paintings.
How do you know he
Or-
doesn't have paintings?
Or a
I don't
name.
know. This guy said so, or at least he said he didn't have any for sale. And then when I asked to just look at some, I was like, "Yeah, nah, you're mercenaries." Yeah, no, okay, close the door.
Yeah.
Oh, he didn't think I was a mercenary. I can
Yeah,
I can see why.
You look pretty easy to take advantage of.
Can we see him? I'm asking
can
you.
see him.
Okay,
He's not invisible.
I'm literally just behind the wall, not invisible.
but is the wall see-through?
Why would you
Nope.
have a see-through wall? Just walk to the other side of the building.
But,
You overestimate the amount of effort that Gerard's willing to put into this right now.
okay.
It's a lot of brain work going through. I can't. There's a voice, and I can't see him, and.
It's not even that. It's more along the lines of like, I don't really give a fuck.
I guess you're not only dumb studying charisma, huh?
Fuck you. Person probably conducting some kind of ring to lure people into his house and then mug them. That's not that uncommon.
What?
Eh,
No way. Why would people do that?
well, for money.
I mean, there's a number of different reasons, but yeah, gold is usually the most common denominator.
Should we tell the guards?
I mean, no, I don't think that's gonna come very far. What's your name, by the way, sir?
I'm Gideon.
I'm Beirut. Pleasure to make your acquaintance.
And yours.
So, food or no? Because we're going.
Yeah.
You know, I think I'm just gonna check this building out. But you go ahead with the food. I'll find all the mysteries and solve all the stuff, and you can hear about it later.
If you don't survive the night, just try to crawl towards somewhere out of sight.
Are you implying that I am gonna have to come with you, or even sneak in here before you to be a big hero?
I would never imply that. I think you're maybe a bit too big to sneak anywhere.
You know what, Gerard? I do want to check this place out.
Really? All right, fine. This is like just Gerard, just like the guy's like, I just want to go to the damn tavern, and now this is fucking happening.
Okay, so I just walk forward and I knock on the door, and then I run back behind the house.
You knock on the door, and surprisingly, there's no one coming to answer it.
Did he unlock it, or is it just open?
You're not sure, actually.
I'm not
I didn't hear any
curious.
locking sounds as he closed it.
You know what? Maybe I'll just maybe we'll just come back tomorrow. You guys can take your food. I realize you need to eat, and I'll do my business, and then, you know, I was gonna come back here tomorrow. That's when I had my modeling thing. And
Right. Well, but I guess I might see you around.
Good luck in Korvosa.
Yeah.
It's a crazy city.
I know,
Yeah.
I've lived there.
I know.
Oh,
Good luck yourself.
thank you very much.
Have a nice day. Bye.
And I
Fucking-
head north.
And I turn and I also head north. Fuck.
Oh great! Is that awkward moment?
Gerard, we're going south.
As you part and head for your separate directions, you notice that it's getting late in the day.
Mhm.
It's 7 p.m. just about.
Yeah. Like, we're gonna have to find a tavern, both for lodgings and for food.
I'm gonna look for an adventurous tavern.
Ah.
An adventure.
Go up north.
Oh, okay.
That's why I was
Where,
going north. Like a more risky tavern where you live life just a little bit more dangerous. Not talking about food poisoning, but like, yeah.
STDs.
Well, no,
You
not like
find
that.
a tavern that is referred to by the door sign as the Arcane Brilliance Tavern,
My kind of jam.
down by Mary Street. And as you enter, you notice that there doesn't seem to be much arcane brilliance going on inside.
Oh,
There's
Fucking
few
shit.
people sitting, eating.
false advertisement.
I hate when that happens. It's the walls are covered in large tapestries that are decorated with some sort of colorful dust that is glimmering as you look at it. And but apart from that, the tavern keep and the ones working there seem relatively ordinary.
Okay.
There's
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
No, there's a few people sitting there. None of them dressed like academy students, but simply as, well, ordinary members of the public.
Normies.
Just normies doing normie things.
Shake my head. I'll go to the. I'll go to the counter. I'll order some whatever they have. Whatever they're the best at is what I order.
Some flesh and potatoes.
That's spectacular.
So wait,
Door
but
is
wait,
locked. Abort mission.
but do they sell dry beer?
Yeah, I'm gonna check. Do they have any dry beer here? Of any kind?
Just shoot me already. Now they all of their beer seems wet.
Damn it. Well, I'll have a dry cider then.
Sure. Yeah, you're served a cider as well as some sort of soup that they're serving for the day. paying 3 silver for the for that, as well as another 4 for the room.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning a grand total of 7.
Okay. I have that gold. I'll pay it.
Absolutely. You pay your 7 silver and sit down to eat for the evening. There doesn't seem to be a lot of people present.
Then I will unfortunately not be able to talk to anyone here. I'll just eat my dinner with a big grin and just observe these fascinating people in their mundane lives and in this non-magical tavern. Slightly bitter about the false advertisement, but happy to be here.
Probably advertising just because they're close to the academy.
It's true. I was expecting at least some kind of magical fireworks or something, but...
The room for later in the evening is has the walls clad with the same type of tapestries.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a double room, as they don't have single rooms.
Okay.
But it's pleasant,
Mm-hmm.
even though possibly a little bit small scale
Mm-hmm.
for your standards.
Sure. Well, I'll prestidigitation to clean out the bed so there's no like lice or anything, and then I will go to sleep.
What a nerd.
Sure. We will move to the mercenary brothers.
The brothers.
Buddha.
Yeah,
Yes.
hello.
As you turn, taking a detour southward to avoid having to walk in the same direction as the Tyrannus individual, you eventually find yourselves in the North Point area of town, by the Jaggery Circle where you first left.
Yep.
Yes.
The market is closing for the evening, but some of the more enthusiastic shopkeepers are going to keep open for a while longer. There are a few taverns around, most of them orienting themselves towards travelers, as this is usually the first area travelers come to when they enter the city.
Yes. Alright. So, where's Best Tavern?
You 4d6 acid damage. Yes, you find the closest tavern, which let's see, where are you? North Point. Let's see my notes here. No, that is not that one.
Abort mission.
It's good to be back.
Just being entirely stupid.
So, what was the name of the inn they found?
Oh, yes. It's referred to as the Korvosa Homestead Inn.
Oh,
It's the one you have to-
we're all being sent to different inns, huh?
Yep. It's large. Probably the largest one in this part of the city. With different signs, both outside and in, promoting themselves to travelers.
Alright, well, I guess we'll head in and just take a look around.
Yeah.
Hi there.
Yeah, it's a 2-floor inn, and you can even see there's a small stage with a band playing for the evening.
Alright. Nice. What kind of music are they playing?
They are playing
Dubstep.
on. No, they are playing on a. One of them is a very large flute. Very very large flute. Almost
yeah.
akin to a horn. And while the other one is playing some sort of multi-stringed instrument. Whatever those things are, they are not from around here.
Ooh.
If you have a relevant
So?
knowledge skill, you can roll it.
I'm gonna roll my knowledge oud.
It's not an oud.
Fuck.
This one has got 13 strings.
Okay. Well, I don't have anything relevant, so I'm not gonna roll. I don't know.
You quickly get seated.
Mm-hmm.
There are, even though it's late in the evening, they still seem to have a few seats open, and we're glad to hand them over to you.
Nice.
If they seem to be serving some sort of root beer, and
Okay.
literally in this case, beer made out of roots. And some, well, pleasant smelling food. Some very orange looking curry-like substance. And it's orange both in flavor and color.
Soft.
Yes. It is a very soft paste-like substance, but it goes down very well, especially with something to drink on the side.
Alright, so now that we're here, I don't know, I know you don't like being here, but why'd you agree to come here?
Well, first of all, I'd have to see his place again sometime. Also, well, we've been together this long. Didn't really make any sense to stop that now.
That's fair. So I just pulled you along for another shit-ass thing you hate doing, huh?
It could be a lot worse. Don't get me wrong, could be a lot better, but
I mean, so the difference between now and then is that now we are able to provide for ourselves. And if we don't like it here, we can always just leave.
I'd say it's probably a lot more. It's probably a lot more difference than that, but I'll take that as a good starting point.
Yeah, well, there's no king, so there's that.
As you say that,
Mhm.
you see the door opening. Walking inside are two people, clad in large plate armor. They're wearing a tabard bearing the symbol of the dawn flower that both of you recognize as the deity Saranre, a patron saint of all that is good and holy in the world, at least according to her followers.
Yeah.
They are both wielding large, almost oversized scimitars that they're carrying in their belts. They, oh my god, they really don't look like most warriors you see around these parts. You can see one of them holds out a symbol bearing the same, likeness as their tabard. It's a very pretty looking symbol.
Alright. No.
Made out of solid silver. They, as they're looking around, it's glowing faintly, and a brief moment later, one of them turns their gaze towards you. He's wearing a helmet, obscuring most of his face. But he taps the other one on the shoulder and nods towards you.
Yeah,
So
I'll
you
just
see-
reach into my shirt and just pull out my own religious symbol. which I'm wearing on a little necklace.
Any friends I don't know about?
I don't know him.
They slowly start approaching you, pushing themselves past the tables, heading inside towards you. See how they stop for a moment, eyeing you up and down before speaking. The two of you are coming with us.
Alright.
Immediate eyebrow raise.
So, you ceremony church people, are you? I don't walk around a lot with you people, and I show him the...
By the authority of the ruling council of Korvosa, bestowed upon Rorik the Lightforged, Inquisitor of the Saranre Order of Thuvia, you are hereby arrested for high treason against the gods.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, what now?
I feel like I didn't hear that very well. You're gonna have to by me again. There's
What now?
yes, cause
We have the authority to crack every skull inside of this tavern if you do not come with us peacefully.
Well, that seems unnecessary. It's just the two of us, and these folks have nothing to do with us.
Yeah,
Then I suggest you stand up quickly.
As I stand up, I'm just gonna look around at the other patrons, like, are you guys gonna stand
They are looking at you in abject confusion. To you, to the people standing in the armor, and you can just hear it sort of whisperings. Quickly.
I'm just gonna get up. Like, who are what? Surely this must be some misunderstanding. We just got here. We have done nothing.
So I can't imagine having done too much to offend the gods, since I haven't even uttered one of their names in most of my life.
Take that up with Inquisitor Rorik. Now, will you be coming with us peacefully? Or in 4 pieces?
Look, we've had a long day. You guys, you've got the wrong guys. Can we just let us go to bed, please?
He looks at the other one. Looks like we're doing it this way.
No. Don't fucking get violent.
As he holds up his holy symbol, and I suggest you roll a will save.
Ooh.
Oh! The first save of the campaign, and it's the one
It's
that I'm the worst
Yaku will
at.
save.
Why you do this?
Ooh.
Hey.
Yep, that's about right.
22. I got
Yes, you managed to resist the spell that seems to be forcing you down onto your knees. Whoever these motherfuckers are, they mean business.
No kidding, huh?
Gerard is not looking happy right now.
I'm just gonna look them square in the eye and be like, I will not be taken prisoner by my free will. Now, can you guys just chill out? What is going on?
You see how the other one just quickly draws his scimitar and jabs it into the table. You've got 5 seconds.
Alright. Gerard, I suppose we're sleeping in slightly different lodgings than we imagined today. You wanna go quietly, or?
Well, I mean, Gerard currently is
He's
on
kneeling.
Yeah, he's on his knees and very visibly angry at this point. Just
I just looked down and I'm going like, yeah, I'm gonna take that as a no, but we're gonna have to anyway. Alright. Whatever you're doing to him, you might want to be careful. when you release him, take us where you want us to go.
If he gets violent, that's his end.
If he gets
Hold out your
violent-
hands.
No. I'll come with you, but you're not gonna manacle me up. Let's go.
You can roll diplomacy.
Hmm.
They seem kind of intent on manacling you.
That's about right.
I guess I get manacled.
Yeah.
Unless you really want to stop them. Yes, you do.
I mean, so, like... Boys, this is unnecessary. Ah, well.
2 manaclings later, you are being walked. The manacles seem to be made out of pure light. And you are being led out of the building. People are looking at you in abject horror as you're being dragged away. You're not sure if it's because how they acted or because they were just confused at why such evildoers would be in the same tavern as them.
So, fellows, do you even know our names? Do you know when we got here? What we've done? What is your grounds for arresting us? Come on, man.
They don't seem very keen on answering questions currently, as they're just walking you through the city, holding you by the manacles.
Yeah. Swear to God, you're just pissy about your old building.
You're going to be answering questions about that later. Meanwhile, at the Arcane Brilliance Tavern.
I'm sleeping so soundly, dreaming of adventures in Verisia.
Yes, you're an hour or so into your sleep. You are.
Is that Gerard, Sarah?
He just went AFK.
Oh,
In the Arcane Brilliance Tavern, you are awake, hearing a knock on your door.
Huh? What?
Please tell me he wears a nightcap when he sleeps.
Yes. A
By
velvet
the order of the ruling
nightcap.
Council of
Jacob.
Verisia, open
Jacob.
up.
Is the butt flap down?
Excuse me, what? I put on my sandals, my sleeping shoes.
One of these things
And I
like the others.
I walk forward to the door and I lean down, I check the keyhole.
You see metal.
Sorry?
I can break down this door, and I will do it.
Let me just put on some clothes. And I start putting on some clothes. Or, wait, does he let me, or?
You're not sure if he is waiting to just giving you 5 seconds until he breaks down the door or not, because he's not answering.
Okay, so I'm standing there in my nightcap, and I kind of look towards my gear, and I start packing it as quickly as I can. I just want to say, I didn't actually go inside. I just knocked on the door. I had no intention. I just looked in the hedge, and they looked like they were doing something weird. I'm sorry if I offended anyone.
They were picking fruits, guys. Fruits.
Yeah, man.
He was rambling on about the fucking fruit picking ball guys. Like, that's not why you're here, is it?
open the door.
Yes. And I open the door.
As you look outside, you see two men, clad head to toe in full plate armor. They are wielding large, almost oversized scimitars. And these what do you call them? They each are bearing, both on their chest but also in their hands, holy symbols of Saranre, the Dawnflower. By the order of the ruling council bestowed upon High Inquisitor Rorik the Lightforged of the Order of the Dawnflower, you are arrested for high treason against the goddess.
Okay.
Will you come peacefully?
Yes.
Hold out your hands.
Yes.
And he mumbles something to himself under his breath, and you can actually roll a perception check to hear that, I feel like.
What a pussy.
No,
I'm
never
way
mind.
too nervous to hear anything.
Never mind. You're being locked up by manacles, seemingly made out of light. Or being dragged through the streets. Or drag. If you keep up their pace, they don't drag you.
They break my kneecaps just so they can drag me.
Yeah.
That's a fucking dick move right there. No.
Stop resisting.
They are not the American police. Yes. Finally, the guy who's not here. Sarah. Rubos.
He's not here right now.
The rose.
Yeah, he said he had to be right back.
Yeah.
Sorry, I muted my microphone again. I've been here.
Oh.
Rubos
Oh.
of the Rose.
Yes.
Where are you sleeping tonight?
Well, I guess I'll be sleeping in the tavern that Falmer so generously had reserved for me. The Golarion. The Valarian.
No, the Valarian. The Valarian. Exactly.
Yeah, Valari Inn.
As you enter the Valari Inn during the evening.
Oh, the
it's a-
Valarian! Oh, I get
Yeah.
it.
It's a tavern sprawling with life. There's
There's a fucking pseudo-dragon running around serving drinks and looking generally pissed at
yes.
life.
You see no. You see a pseudo dragon that is flying around with plates, with food, and they're levitating around it.
Okay, I don't care what happens to me next. I got the sickest fucking inn, you guys.
And it's packed. There's not just the pseudo dragon, but there are 3 more servers moving between the tables.
I just don't get like Jacob's character specifically asked for like the most adventurous inn, and he didn't recommend the inn that had a fucking pseudo dragon servant. Come on.
I assumed he didn't look through the entire city,
Fair enough.
but the area he was in. The Valari Inn is on the other side of the city.
No, Sam, I scoured. I went inch by inch to find every... No, I took the closest one that sounded adventurous. So.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yes. And you receive a room for the night. The Valari Inn is a 1-floor tavern, but it's a very wide floor. The main room is built almost like the main hall of a wedding. And it's really wide with this large space in the middle, which is somewhat unusual, where a lot of different musicians are standing, forming a small band that are entertaining for the evening. Allegedly, there are plays being set up in that circle. Sometimes. But currently, we It is just live music.
Well, I don't think my character would have a lot of interest in, staying around the tavern, having a beer and all.
No.
Because he can't drink in front of people.
You,
It probably would be in his room.
Like a little straw hole at the mouth of the mask. Just...
No, he won't use straws because they're bad for nature.
Hippie.
Yeah.
got him. Yes. You,
He's probably in his room writing in his logbook.
You, eventually, as you sit up in your room, you hear a knock on the door.
The door's open. Who is it?
You see a man walking inside. He's not wearing full plate armor. He's somewhat old, like a almost cubic shaped. He's very boxy looking, right? As in not the YouTuber, but the
Squared.
Yes. Squared, short,
Yeah,
and punchy.
Very square shaped.
Yeah, but he's got a lot of scars in his face, and I feel like you saw him somewhere down at the tavern. He's got this very, by now, receded hairline, but he has a very brown hair and surprisingly kind eyes. See, he says, "You're the Milani priest. Saw you downstairs and spoke to the individual that recommended you here. You're being tracked through an object you received."
And what does this person want with me, I wonder?
The Sarandre Inquisition. They're here. They'll be arriving any moment now, going to take you away for the night.
Is that so? My, they sure move fast here, don't they? But I have nothing to hide? What would they want with me?
I'm honestly not sure. I figured I'd give you the warning in case you well, the Inquisitor has quite the reputation. He's good, but ruthless. I just don't want any harm. I just don't want to see any harm come to you.
I appreciate your concern, but I have done nothing wrong. And if this Inquisitor is as good as they say, they will be able to discern as much. If not, well... Either way, I'm sure running away will only make things worse for me. But I thank you for the warning. I shall be ready for when they come.
If that is the case, I suggest you go down to meet them. They'll be here any minute. My sources are very good. They have been hunting people through the city all day.
Of course. I wouldn't want to cause any unnecessary trouble for the people I'll be staying with for a while. I shall take your advice and go meet them.
He nods.
What is your name, by the way?
I'm the owner of this establishment. Neolandus Calapolis.
A pleasure. I hope to be able to patronize you more in the future. But if I don't get the chance, well, I had a very nice time staying here, even if it was for a short while.
Hope you enjoyed the inn. Now hurry downstairs.
I'll collect my things and head down,
Yes.
leaving the tavern and waiting outside of it.
Just
There was
as he told you, it doesn't take more than a few minutes before before two large, full plate wearing individuals come strolling down the street, hurrying quickly in your direction. As they spot you, they walk up to you, keeping the same pace as earlier. As they eye up and down, look amongst each other, and you see one of them picks up his holy symbol and starts glowing. He says, Didn't expect a holy man.
Didn't expect to get arrested tonight.
You knew we were coming?
I have my ways. You've been looking around the city for a while, haven't you? Now, I believe our goddesses are supposed to be allies. So, what are you two doing walking around arresting people?
That is up to High Inquisitor Rorik the Lightforged to determine.
Very well. I have been asked to not cause you any trouble, so I will simply comply and come with you.
That is a very wise decision. Now hold out your hands. We're ordered to shackle you.
Oh my. Haven't experienced that in a while.
But as they're about to, you see how one of them sort of looks to the other and just shakes his head slowly and he shrugs. Or second thoughts, that will not be necessary in this case.
My.
That's just because he'd like it.
Hashtag Serrano privilege.
Hashtag Zonkathon.
Thank you for the hospitality.
Hashtag being the most arrestable person in history privilege.
But yeah, I'm not gonna shank them in the back with my battle axe. I will simply come along with them. I assume they confiscate that anyway.
Yes, they do.
Can I keep my shield at least? Like, well, I guess I can bash a motherfucker in the head with it.
Yeah.
They
do
take
that with
both of your weapons.
Fucking fingers too.
What about my rapier? Do they take that?
They take all weapons, all visible weapons, but they don't actually.
Okay, wait. Okay, Yaku, all you have to do is demonstrate that your rapier is not actually a weapon. You just have to demonstrate that it's actually a butt plug and shove it up your ass.
No. If I want to demonstrate that it's not actually a weapon, it's a rapier.
Just the best way to demonstrate that it's not a weapon is to look at this and look at the weapons everyone else uses. This is a fucking toothpick.
Look, this is why you should play monks. They can't disarm you. Well, they
can.
They probably won't go to that extent at the first try.
An unfortunate choice of the words there, my friend. Okay.
Yeah, I was about to...
Okay, look, not all of us are Eldar, okay? Okay, yeah, sorry.
And as you're all being dragged away towards a meeting with this High Inquisitor Rorik the Lightforged of the Saran Ray Order of Thuvia, we will end today's session of Death and Taxes.
Do we level up?
You do not level up. As you will notice, the leveling progression in this campaign will be significantly slower. You can expect to level up at about half the pace you did in Curse.